They're delicious. Get by Cute as a Cupcake at 2008 West 81st in Maryville, Indiana for these delicious cupcakes. If you're anywhere else in the country, you want cupcakes for election night? Order from Cute as a Cupcake. www.cuteasacupcake3.com is where you go so you can get cupcakes delivered directly to your door. These cupcakes are more than just cute, they're delicious. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I am your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And once again, thank each and every one of you for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I truly, truly appreciate it. Hey, so what's on deck for today? Today, we're going to talk a little bit about your kids and some things that you can do for your kids to help them establish credit, create good habits when it comes to money and things of that nature. So I don't want you to tune away just because you may not have kids. There are always some pearls and some tips in here of some things that you can do. That yes, you can do. Or if you even think that, hey, my kids are too young. My kids are too young. I'm not even worried about this. Or you think my kids are too old. They're grown. They're out the house. Things of that nature. If you got kids that ever come back and they ask for $20, let alone if they come and ask for $50, or if they come along and ask for $5,000, or they need you to co-sign something, you want to stay tuned and you want to listen to this show today on the 800 Credit Score Man Show. So again, thanks everybody for coming in, listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. Do me a favor. Do me a huge favor. Share the show. Share the show with your friends and your family. Also, like the show. So whatever platform you're listening to the show on, I don't care if it's Spreaker, if it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to the show, please go ahead and like the show as well. All right, so you know how I like to do. I like to shout out the youngest among us, of course, right? So I want to shout out Niles Crane. Yes, Niles Crane. Happy birthday, young man. Today is his birthday. He turned the big 4. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Happy birthday to you, Niles Crane. I hope you get everything that you wanted for your birthday. I know you like cars, so I hope you got a nice, shiny car for your birthday as well, little man. So happy birthday to you. Jaleisha King. Yes. Relative of mine, my cousin. Happy birthday to you, Jaleisha. I got to give a shout out to Cherry Harris as well as Cinnamon Harris. I want to give them shout outs. No, they are not twins, but they are sisters. Happy birthday to you guys. Those are my cousins as well. And Kendall Owens, yet another cousin. So it's not a show if there's no Kings or some relative of mine that are related to me getting a shout out on the show. So happy birthday to you guys. I got a few more, but I'm going to save and spare the rest of the crowd. I'll get to them in the middle of the show. So come on in, y'all. Let's talk about this and talk about your kids. Talk about your kids, how you can help them establish some good spending habits, some saving habits, and then also teach them about credit and the importance of credit. Now, the reason this came about, there's always a story. I just didn't pull this out of the air. What came about, I'm in, 300, I swear, different groups on Facebook, talking about credit or wealth building or real estate or whatever it is. I'm in a bunch of groups. So in one of the groups, actually a new member of this group as well, actually posed a question and was talking about your kids and adding them to, a credit card, to help them establish credit. And would you do it? Would you not do it? That kind of thing. So for the most part, the people in this particular group were all saying, yes, absolutely, sure. That's a great idea. And ironically, earlier this week, I had already posted something about that, about you go ahead and adding your kid to a credit card as an authorized user, and that helps them establish credit. You guys all know this because you listen to the 800 Credit Score Man Show often, and we talk about that often, and not just for kids. We talk about it for adults as well. There are plenty of clients that I have that I help restore their credit, and one of the action items or the strategies I try to get them to do is to become an authorized user on someone else's credit card. So that's where this show came from, is because this young man asked that question in this particular group, and there was a lot of back and forth about it, and a lot of comments about it. But again, most people said, yep, absolutely, this is a good idea. Some people had no idea this was even an option. So that was a very good question that he posed and posted. So that's where it came from. And then, of course, a couple people said no. Couple people said, no, I don't think you ought to do that. And quite frankly, I know I've told you guys before, I did that for my oldest son when he was 16 or 17. I don't remember, 17. I did it for my oldest son. And then I told a friend of mine that I was doing it, or that I had already done it or whatever. And that friend didn't think that I should do that. She didn't think that I should do that for whatever reason. I don't remember why she didn't think I should do that for him. And I was surprised. This person loved kids, love kids. And she didn't think that that was a good idea, but maybe she just didn't know at the time that it was extremely helpful for him. And as you know, Kobe of Kobe, Cameron, and Carter has a very good credit score because of the authorized user portion. So this is what we're going to talk about. So let me start this. What you want to do is you want to, one, start early. Oh, and let me tell you this too. Also, someone in a group posted an article from CNBC. And in that article, they talked about these kids and how to help them establish that. And so that's where I grabbed this information from as well. So first things first, start early. Start early with your kids. Research says that as young as 3 years old. Now, that means some of y'all are way behind. You got kids that are, 14, 15, 35. You got old kids. It says start early as young as 3 years old. I know I'm behind. I'm behind with Cameron and Carter. Absolutely behind if you're supposed to start at 3 years old. I'm not sure that I even talked to them about money. Maybe they played with a couple of dollars and, we threw around some change and whatnot. But they said start early with your kids in this particular article. You should start early teaching them about money and things of that nature. And the research said that as early as 3, but even by 7 years old, they've solidified some things and some ideas and some feelings about and around money. So you guys get started early talking to your kids. If you got older kids, it's not too late. It's not too late to start talking to them about it at all, because they can all learn stuff. We can all learn stuff. We're here now learning about credit at whatever age you are. We're still learning about credit, how money works, things of that nature. So talk to your kids. Start early if you can. Another thing that they said do is tell them the difference between a debit card and a credit card. Tell them the difference between that debit card and a credit card. Even some adults, because of some of the groups that I'm in, talk about a debit card and using a debit card, thinking that it's helping them in some way with their credit. A debit card does not do that. A debit card is your money in your account, your checking account, or maybe you got one that's hooked to your savings account. I don't know. But it's in your account and it's your money, and it's not something that you pay back. With that credit card, you are basically borrowing money and you're paying it back. And then the bureaus and FICO are looking at it and they're seeing how well you are doing those things. And that's where you get your credit score from. Having and using a debit card does not do that at all. There's nothing being reported at all in that regard. Excuse me. The only time that you're going to get something reported off a debit card or anything of that nature is if you mess it up and say the bank has to, see into collections or something. I don't see a lot of bank collections just because of a checking account on people's credit, because they have their own system. They have their own system that'll basically just stop you from opening another, bank account somewhere else. It's called a check system. So they have their own system. But the difference between a debit and a credit card is something that you can easily do with your child. You can easily do that. You can do it right there when you're at the checkout counter, for example. So you're with them at the checkout counter. You pull out a card. These days, it's not cash often. It's usually more cards. So then you can tell them the difference, what you're using, what you're not using. Pull it out. Maybe the colors are different from your credit cards to your debit cards. Let them know which one is which. If you can trust your kids, because some of them might go get that card one of these days because they're trying to buy something on Xbox or whatever. So you make sure that you guard yourself in that regard. But yeah, show them the difference and tell them the difference between how that debit card works, which is money in your account that you're spending, versus how a credit card works, and talk to them about limits and things of that nature when it comes to your credit card. The third thing that they were talking about in this particular article is to incentivize saving. Yes, incentivize savings for your children. This helps build good habits for them. So, you can give them chores to do and give them a couple of bucks. And the kids nowadays, they're not taking a couple of bucks, but whatever it is, give them some chores to do, give them some money. Require them to save a portion of whatever money they get. So whether it's from the chores you're talking about, that I'm talking about, whether it's for their birthday, it's from granddad, it's from aunts that just randomly give them money, stick money in their hand or whatever it is, encourage them to save, not even encourage, require them to save a portion of that money. And I suggest that you encourage them to save more than 10%. For whatever reason, we, the adults, talk about 10%, saving 10% all the time. Encourage them to save more than 10%, especially if you're basically financing them all the time anyway. Everybody's different. Every household is different. When kids get a little bit older, they might pay for a little more of their things because they have a job, or, they're getting money from somewhere else because, people are giving them money because they are doing chores, or if they're just doing odd jobs around the neighborhood or whatever it is. But encourage them. I'm saying, this wasn't in the article, I'm saying make it more than 10%. All right, so they get $100. Don't let them just save $10. Make them save $25. If you can, push them. Make them save $50 of that $100. But teach them those saving habits, those good saving habits. Now, here's what I do, so I can tell you. And it's good for saving, but not necessarily for teaching them about money. So I need to do a better job of that in a teaching realm myself. And the little ones, they don't listen to the show, so they don't know. But here's what I do. So when they get money, they usually get money for birthday. People don't really give them money for Christmas or whatever, but they'll get money for their birthday for the most part. So when they get money for their birthday, we're sitting around opening cards and whatnot. $20 is falling out. Carter just graduated kindergarten, so he got money in cards and things of that nature. So what I do is we count up the money. We count it up. Usually I play with them because I steal it. I say, let me see this, and then I steal it and make a whole game about it. However, we take the money. They know how much money they got because we counted it. We probably counted it 5, 6, 10 times. We've counted it, and they know how much they have. So they're like, cool, this is your money. Somebody holds on. Somebody's going to hold on to it. Their mom, or I'm going to hold on to it. Somebody's going to hold on to that money, and but they know how much they have. So typically, now that they're getting a little older, they do know a little bit about money. There are things that they would like to buy that I haven't said, okay, cool, I'll buy it, that they want to do. So I'll say, okay, cool, use your money. We're going to use your money. We got to go to the store. Nowadays, we're ordering stuff online because of the pandemic. But those are the things that we do, right? So they know. However, what I do is whatever money that they get, so let's say they got $100, I usually take that $100 and I save it for them. I take that money, I put it in the bank, unbeknownst to them, and I save that money for them. And then when they need to spend the money, that whatever we've agreed upon, because of course we don't let them just go and buy whatever it is they want, but we when whatever's agreed upon, then if it's cash and we're gonna walk into a store, then I'm gonna give them cash so they think that that's the original money, because they like that, the original money that they got, and we'll let them do their thing. But I already took that money and put it away from them and saved it for them. So I'm basically like a matching program, if you will. That's what I'm gonna do. That's how I do with my kids on that. But again, I need to do a better job of teaching, because they don't know that they're getting that savings that's being put up for them. So I need to do a better job of absolutely teaching them those things. For older kids, teach them about a secured card. So when that kid, I'm thinking like 16, 17, maybe 15, when they, get their first job or whatever it is,